Hi, welcome. This is Bertina, and welcome to Spirit Guide Communication through the Art of Divination. Today, we are going to talk about how we can communicate with our soul, the spirits around us, to try and bring an ending to the year that we are at, and then to also bring in our soul's desire for the next year. Many time people tend to use this time as for New Year's resolutions, for making a list of to do things. And those are good if you are the type of person who can really just do list all the time. But a lot of times our ego gets in the way and doesn't allow us to really listen to our heart's desire. And we get so caught up also in moving forward that we forget to honor the year that's ending. So what I want to do today is just kind of give you some thoughts and ideas of things that I've learned throughout the years, and definitely something that I learned from one of the classes that I'm taking right now with Rebecca Campbell is I finally found someone who thinks the way that I do. And it was very strange because um, I've always been like a type A personality. Let's make a list. Let's do this. By January, I want to do this. In February, I want to do this. And it just became like a chore. And it didn't make me happy. It didn't make my soul happy. And then I started changing things around, but I didn't realize that other people did. And when I started taking Rebecca Campbell's class, I noticed that a lot of what she was teaching us, what I've been doing the last couple of years and teaching in my classes. So the confirmation of this idea was wonderful. So one of the things is that as the year starts to close, we really need to honor the endings of our journey for the year. Um, it's kind of a time to say goodbye to each of the chapters in our life. Um, and it's a time to really open space for our soul to bring in what's in for the new year. Because what happens is we have these relationships that have evolved, and some of them that have even left us, that are in our body and our soul. And we need to say goodbye to some of those relationships so that that space is there so new relationships or new goals can come in. Um, we may have had some achievements that's made us really happy. So releasing those to the universe and saying thank you will leave a space there for more achievements to come. Each of these spaces, we also have wisdom, and having the wisdom to honor the endings in our lives is really, really important. Um, let's think about this. Endings kind of manifest in different forms, like life events, like maybe having a child and the positive aspects of that, maybe losing a job and really feeling like that was your sole purpose and realizing that maybe that job was unfulfilling, or maybe that it was something that was holding you back because you had fear to move on because that job was comfortable. Maybe moving from having a familiar home to going off to college. Maybe getting used to college, graduating, and going on to that new job. And one of the hardest things also is saying goodbye to relationships. Friendships, sometimes we feel like we hold on to them because out of loyalty. We have friends who were there for us when we needed them, but maybe we have different goals. Maybe we don't um, have the same ideas as they do anymore. And a lot of times in the past, we only ended friendships if there was a big blow up, if there was an argument. And really, that was just more of an ego way of saying goodbye rather than being an adult and not having any negativity, but just letting go of that relationship because you know that that time is gone. and then moving on to a new one. And there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean you hate the person. It doesn't mean anything bad. It's just that you're in different parts of your life. And this leaves room for someone else to come in and maybe bring you to your next level. And that one is really important because that doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship. That can be a friend that maybe sees a weakness in you and empowers your weakness. Like maybe you're insecure. Um, Maybe you don't have the confidence to move forward in a job, and they can see the gifts in you and they help you with your soul's desire so that your soul can move forward and help you. I think sometimes that is a harder goodbye than losing someone to a death or transition, because that's a natural process that we're used to, and we have a grieving process that we accept for that. But a lot of times we don't grieve friendships that just are gone. And this also holds true for romantic relationships. Ending relationships without arguing and screaming and hating each other is a whole different, mature way, because it does leave the positiveness in your soul, but it also leaves a spot that can be fulfilled. So, to kind of go in a new direction, we have to kind of acknowledge these closures. We look at the energy of things that really don't resonate with us, and then we create room for our next step to flourish. So, honoring these endings isn't merely about saying goodbye, it's about freeing ourselves from what no longer resonates. It fosters a space for growth, and it helps us sow seeds of a new beginning. And also, we can also honor things, maybe last year resolutions that we made that just didn't work, or maybe those that did. So, for example, take a moment and pull out your journal and just think about a couple of things that you have planned for this year. Just jot them down for a moment. You can stop this podcast and take as long as you want. And then once you make those ideas, put beside of them whether they were fulfilled or you didn't fulfill them. Again, you can stop this podcast to do this. Now, looking at the ones that you fulfilled, is that the end of that story? Have you done all that you can do with those? Or maybe is it step 1 or 2 towards step 3 and 4, towards your soul's desire? What about a goal that you had or a dream that you had that didn't work out this last year? What is maybe a lesson that you learned about yourself? Was this really your soul's desire, or was this the world telling you this is how you're supposed to be? Or maybe this is the world telling you this is what you're supposed to do. Was there a lesson or something good that came out of this goal or this dream not being met? Did it lead to something better? And see, that's where we have to look at and honor these endings, because as we look at what worked and what didn't work, it helps us look forward to really see what our true soul's desire is. We get caught up in going, okay, I want to lose 15 pounds. I want to go to the gym 3 days a week. But really, our heart's desire, our soul's desire, is to be a healthier person so that we can enjoy life. And that can be lots of different ways. That may be changing the food that you eat, and then from that, you may release weight into the world. It may be that you don't like the gym, but you decide you want to start walking outside, and then you begin to notice and appreciate nature. And then that helps your soul become even more happy because you're connecting to nature. Now, reflect again on some relationships that you've had. What are some positive things that came out of this relationship? What are some negative things that came out of some relationships? Are there some relationships that have ended? What have you learned from those relationships? Think about the positive things that came out of that. Just because a relationship ends doesn't mean that it has to be thought of as bad or not good or not a perfect relationship, because everyone's here to teach us something. They may teach us where we need to find more confidence, maybe to find our voice. Maybe a relationship is here to teach us that our soul, we need boundaries. We can't save everyone. We can't change people. And then what about the positive relationships? What is something you can vision that your soul will desire for the next year with these? What did you learn from these people? Rebecca Campbell also talks about how to align with the pulse of life. Um, this time of year is a time for rest and reflection and soulful communication. It's really a time to look inwards, and it's just like the dormant season of winter. I love winter. I love the stillness. We say goodbye to the year, we say goodbye to the flowers and to the plants. And as the snow falls and it's really, really beautiful outside, you step out and you notice how quiet the snow is. We attune ourselves to that silence. And as we do, we can hear our souls whisper. We know that nothing, no action is needed right now, but just to listen to what our soul wants us to do. What does our soul tell us is our path? Tuning into that essence, that voice, helps us know where to go. It's just like, the pulse of life that she spoke about is the intelligent force that, as she says, tells the flowers when to bloom and the seasons to change and the moon to change. And because of that, there's this belief of a golden thread that beckons us to go through our path, our desires. And this golden thread leads us, much kind of like the yellow brick road with the Wizard of Oz. It kind of helps us learn our path, our way to uncover our truest purpose, how to align with the rhythm of our existence, and where to go to. And this golden thread, like the yellow brick road, allows us to walk this road and find our heart's desire, our soul's desire, and realize that it was inside of us in the first place. It's something that lives in us. But until we begin to hold this golden thread, to walk with the pulse of life, to walk this golden brick road, we don't tend to go inward. We don't always align to our truest purpose. We don't always align with our rhythm of existence. But everything that we need to know is inside of us. So, in this moment of stillness, I would like for you to honor the endings and envision the new beginnings that your heart, your soul is whispering to you. Embrace the wisdom within and align with the pulsating rhythm of life. As you embark on this journey of introspection, you may thread the path of your deepest desires and discover that the treasures you seek are already woven within the fabric of your being. Now go ahead and get out your journals and just begin to reflect on this. Reflect on some of the ideas of what your soul is telling you, to release and embrace and say goodbye to, and what your soul is telling you to embrace for the new year. You can stop this and come back to it in just a few moments. And as we end this podcast, I would like to invite you to check out my website, bertina.org, as I have several self-paced online classes that work wonderfully with this idea, this embracing and saying goodbye. I have manifesting workshops, there's vision board workshops, there's morning ritual workshops, and they're all less than $25, and they can take you a day to do, and they're just wonderful. But I also want you to invite you to various books that I have come across, definitely Rebecca Campbell's books, Embracing Your Way, looking at guided journaling workbooks that are out there, taking time to really listen to your soul's voice and embracing and honoring the endings for now. So I'd like for you to hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be doing another podcast on, listening to your soul and what to do for the next year. So it'll follow perfectly here. And please share, do anything that you can to kind of help promote. But what I would like for you to do is really honor yourself, take time to rest this year, and enjoy the lessons that your soul is providing for you. Have a wonderful new year.